Welcome to Created Creative. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Ruth.
Happy Easter!
Happy Easter! Yay.
How was your Holy Week?
It has been really good. Here in Minnesota, there's been a lot of inclement weather, but it has really worked. It was kind of amazing. We had our Palm Sunday and Maundy Thursday, and then terrible snow Maundy Thursday during the day, but it stopped in time for us to have Maundy Thursday at night. And then there was big snow coming in on Good Friday, but it all held off until after Good Friday service. And then on Saturday, we got snow, like a foot of snow.
Insanity!
I
Insanity!
know. But then by this morning on the way to church, the roads were clear. So thank you to the snow removal services in Minnesota where everything was fine.
But no outdoor Easter egg hunt.
I did see video of somebody doing that. And they're like, good luck, kids.
That Midwestern mom. I saw that too. Yes.
Yeah, it would add an extra challenge.
They sink into the snow.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like, why not? Right?
Our church, it was so nice yesterday. Perfect for an Easter egg hunt.
Mhm.
And we did not have an Easter egg hunt yesterday, but we were at this local community garden, which, like in New York, people don't own land. And there's community gardens. You pay to belong to it. And there are open hours open to the public where
Mhm.
non-members can go in. So Saturday, such a nice day. I was like, somebody will be in that community garden. We go in and they were dyeing eggs and they just included us.
Oh, I love that.
So we dyed some eggs at the community garden,
Mhm.
which they have chickens and they got the eggs from, this was like a totally closed loop.
Wow.
They had chickens, they
Uh-huh.
had brought them home and boiled them. Over how long would it take for 8
Uh-huh.
chickens to make so many eggs? But we were dyeing them and they were going to have egg hunt the next day.
Wow, that's
But
awesome.
we were not there the next day. We were at church, which
Yeah.
was Easter. And we couldn't have our normal Easter egg hunt in Central Park because it was raining so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So they had it in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
But it was fun. There's other excitement about being allowed to run around the sanctuary and containing all the kids and the energy of everyone running every which way and looking.
Yeah.
The other thing too, when I was little, my mom would hide eggs for my brother and I just at home, but they were hidden.
Uh-huh.
Like we didn't look for these things.
Yeah.
And it feels like my experiences on the East Coast are, it's more about getting there first. They're just like strewn about.
Yeah. Every church egg hunt I've been to, they're just laying there, you
They're
know?
just, you can see them. It's just
Yeah.
getting there.
Uh-huh. In fact, they feel bad if they put them somewhere that it's hard to find. But yeah, my mom, we would have Easter baskets and she would hide the basket somewhere when it was never
Mhm.
very hard to find, but she would hide it. And
Yeah,
so traditions change, I guess, over time.
they do. Yeah. And I'm glad that there's these Easter egg hunts and there's not so much pressure. I suppose maybe I'll get into the Easter basket scene at some point. But she had an Easter experience.
And the community garden sounds really like a perfect example of those third space things.
Yes. I think I'm going to join.
Yeah, I think it sounds wonderful.
The people have been so welcoming. It feels like a church basement.
Yeah.
And it's nearby. The thing is, you have to take a turn gardening. And I don't know anything about it. But
Well, you'll learn.
this could be like community lunch where there's some like non-gardening job
Uh-huh.
to help the overall group.
Reminds me of, there was an episode of Sex and the City where Miranda and Steve got married in a community garden. That's where they decided to get married.
I wonder if it's this one. I should
They-
watch.
It
They
was.
moved to Brooklyn.
Yeah, they had been thinking about where to get married, and then they went by one of the community gardens. They're like, let's get married here.
People really care. They're well done. And they're not over processed and
Mhm.
fake. This
Yeah.
is like regular people digging in dirt.
So how big is this space?
Two brownstones are missing.
Okay, so good size. No.
Good size.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way to the next block. Two brownstones back to back. So it goes all
Oh.
the way through the middle of the block.
That's so great to
It is
have
great.
that.
And they
Yeah.
have chickens.
I want pictures of it the next time you.
Maybe I'll join this week. They have a potluck at the end of each garden day once a month.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I went to it with the French family that we know that belongs to the
Uh-huh.
garden. And they are so fun. Like people were very welcoming. And also people just brought instruments and everyone's playing in like a pickup band,
Yeah.
playing well-known folksy songs.
Uh-huh.
And people are singing or not singing. They're eating, they're grilling.
What a cool way to get to know people.
Yes.
I love that.
A third space, as you said, and
Yeah.
another layer of community.
And it's planting seeds seeds of new relationships in your own
Yes,
lives.
'tis the season. We just did seeds as a homeschool theme.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So we've been learning about seeds, and then seed is our theme this month at
Mhm.
our Patreon gathering.
Yes. I think everybody has seeds of ideas that they think about that, oh, that might be interesting, but maybe that's as far as they get with the idea.
How do you know which ones to plant and water and bring into sunlight?
And just like a community garden, it's more fun when other people are involved. Our gathering created creative conversations. We bring other people in to help water the seed. Oh, this is amazing illustration.
We're such good analogizers.
Yes.
So if you're listening in real time, join our discussion this week. And if you're not listening in real time, it just means we have a different theme coming up next month and you should join our Patreon anyway. So how do they
Yes.
do that, Ruth?
There's a link in our show notes. Just go to our show notes and there's a link right there. Yeah, join it.
How much does it cost?
And it costs $10 a month.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
It's like less than joining the community garden, which is 25.
Oh, wow. It's such a bargain.
It's such a deal. It's 2.5 community gardens worth of fun.
Yes. My latte is almost
Right.
that much.
So seed is our theme this month. We do have a lot of guests who have already talked about seeds and cultivating an idea and seeing it through. So we have a few today.
Yes. I love that we're doing this because it's been so inspiring over the last years to listen to people and how their ideas have started and what they've done to take care and nurture those seeds.
So the first one we have is Rob Bell, who you may have heard of, but if not, he was a pastor who was one of Oprah's Soul Sunday people and Time Magazine's 100 most influential people at one point. And then he was like, I'm just going to write novels. And we asked him how the ideas come about and how he develops them.
Yeah.
And here's what he said.
Yeah. Enjoy. I was curious, and I'd love to hear you talk about, as you began writing the book, did you have kind of a map of where you wanted to go with these characters when you started, or do you sit down and let them take you?
What a
as you
great
write?
question, because there are elements of both. Like in the morning, you sit down knowing, where are we in the book? Oh, okay. We're here today. And part of it is I have a general sense of what happens next. And then it's like 49%, yeah, I have a sense of what happens. And then 51% utter surprise. And so there are even moments like when Nunez gives the bread is magic speech in the ravine. I was in the ravine for like 3 or 4 days, like writing that scene, but also in the scene, looking
Listening.
around. It's almost like a millisecond delay between experiencing it and typing it. It's very mysterious. And the mind gets very, very calm. There's something about the subconscious. Like when Dill Ted sees Heen at one point and he yells, Heen Gruber's, you bare knuckle brawler. I burst out laughing because that's super funny to me. And I didn't plan or plot that. So this was actually after being a spiritual teacher for a number of years. This is where you craft like a teaching, an episode, even a book. This is what I'm saying. This is point A. This is point B. Here's an example. Here's an illustration. There's a very rigorous logic to it. And this, like all that musculature I built up, this story was like none of that. It was like, just give that a smoke break. This is like a completely different, 100% fully present in the moment. What happens next? And if I did have like this is what I want people to get out of this, then the entire thing shut down. The opposite of teaching. I'm doing no explaining. I'm caught up in something that's happening. And if later I look back and realize, oh yeah, some of the characters do give speeches. Well, yeah, Rob, it's not a surprise. So that's what was so interesting is that none of those communication muscles that I built up over all those years, it was like a whole new kind of experience of just what happens next, who says what, then what happens after that. And I did have some senses of what was coming, but sometimes I would think something was going to happen like, oh yeah, it's going to happen in 2 scenes from now. And then it ended up happening 15 scenes because all these interruptions kept coming. Yeah, it was I'm still sort of sorting through what a new creative experience. And if you go around the world talking about creativity and helping people follow the flow and give themselves permission, then when you have an experience that makes you realize like you don't know anything about creativity, it was a I would say humbling,
Mhm.
but it was far more devastating than just humbling of an experience. This book to be like, oh yeah, I actually don't know anything. 'Cause I don't even, this is like so much more expansive and 3D, and it made me, honestly, there were moments of like all my previous work, I would have like, oh, that feels like a warm up for this. Like that was like 2D and this is like 5D or something. It was yeah, it really,
Huh.
it was like, yeah, it was like starting over again.
Then going a totally different direction, we have Blessing, who she just decided to award microgrants to create joy in your community.
Yeah, and I love how she talks about how the money is just a small part of it. It's the connection.
And whenever you write a grant, it is a seed of an idea. You're
Mhm.
developing a seed, the idea, and then when you get the grant, you live it out.
Yeah. So enjoy this interview with Blessing. So I suppose now with your new position, do you get glimpses of new creative projects that you might like to take on?
Yeah, since I'm here, since it was before I even started the work at the Synod, I did, again, this pull again, right? Is, oh, I need to do something. I'm here. I need to do something. I know I cannot go to Zimbabwe because I'd been here for like almost a year. And then I started what I call the Spark of Joy in New York City project. And that is the micro grant for grassroots projects to do within the city to anyone. You don't need to be a registered organization, an individual, just to get your community spreading joy. And so I did that for the summer. They were great. I visited one of them. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
What do they do?
This program that I visited, they were in the parks. There was a Tryon Park,
Okay.
says Upper Manhattan, and they did just a stand. It was a joy stand, and they were meeting their neighbors. So anybody who came by, they would invite them to blow bubbles. And they wanted to do a map of the neighborhood, but they didn't. So they just had a heart, and you just put a pin for every guest that came and say where they were in the neighborhood. And when I stopped by, there were so many people there. So she said to me that some of the people that stopped by wanted to donate money. They're like, are you taking money? Can we do this more?
Yeah, they want to help.
So it was so encouraging. It was just like a small project by one woman who decided she wanted to do this. She applied for the grant. I gave it to her. She and her friend decided to do this project. And we all signed up to keep doing it. So I would like to do something in the winter as well. So just continue the microgrant programs. And when we did it this summer, it was for all 5 boroughs. So we awarded money, a single project in each of the boroughs, and they were all implemented. So I still had to post about that, and they were great. 2 of them were children focused, which was good. But what I noticed is that child focused ones are really just children, whereas the adult ones are more open to the larger community. But everybody benefits, and there was so much fun. So it was great.
And so how did you go about getting the funds for people, that you give out for the microgrant?
This was all the leftover money from Christmas Joy.
Oh,
I just have the bank rolling, and I'm just like, okay, this is money for Christmas Joy. I haven't used all of it, so let me use it for this.
Christmas in July. Joy.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're so creative about thinking about, here's a resource. I want to get it to people. What's another way to do it? How can we tap into other people's creativity? Like, you're thinking in ways that most people do not think. And I'm thrilled. I just always want to hear your stories. There's always a way to get more resources to people in your world.
Yeah, I think what struck me about the microgrants is that it doesn't have to be a lot of money to make a difference.
No.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money at all. It's more about just connecting the people, because I think that's what I did more. I just connected people with the idea, and then those who had the idea just ran with it. So they were truly sparks, and they sparked that in their neighborhoods.
And you're empowering people then by doing it.
Yeah, and that's a hope that'll continue, like a domino effect. We'll keep doing more and more of these. I hope so. They were super excited, the women I met. They're like, yeah, we can take this national. I'm like, let's do it.
A joy stand.
Exactly.
Instead of a lemonade stand, they had a
Yeah,
joy stand.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Oh my gosh. So it's fascinating. Blessing was making ideas happen for others. She was being the push for other people's ideas by awarding grants, which really is cultivating other people's seeds of ideas.
mm-hmm.
We also talked to 2 songwriters. We've talked to more than 2.
Yeah.
The 2 songwriters today, the first one, Tyra, talking about how she develops the kernel of an idea for a song into an actual thing we hear.
And she has to be very careful about the influences she allows around her so that she can keep that train of thought going. I also have to say about this clip, if people watch this on video, I can't believe how little Lucy is.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is that baby? Oh my God.
She was really not big.
Yeah.
If you're not watching on YouTube, it's worth
Yeah.
logging in.
Yes.
So here's Tyra.
So when you're writing music, do you like to collaborate with other people or do you do better writing yourself?
This kind of goes into my creative process. Most of the time when I'm writing music, I don't decide to write the music. I actually decide to practice. And then all of a sudden I can hear some extra things and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me record that or let me play that really quickly or let me write the music out so I won't forget it. And I'll come back to it later. I'll hear where a song could develop. And depending on what that sounds like, that's when I go and find a person like, oh, this sounds like this person's song. Let me collab with them. Or what do you think of this? And if they like it, would you like to join me on it? Or I hear your voice over this, or I hear your violin over this. And then other times it's just me.
That is so interesting. It sounds like the process itself takes you on a whole journey.
It does. The journey is always unique. Each song has a life of its own. Sometimes the journey can be a little painful because sometimes you recall memories in your body that you may have suppressed for a while. Other times the journey can be confusing because sometimes for me, I feel like I know exactly where I am in life and then this creation will come to be and it'll put a mirror in front of my face. Actually, you're not there, sis, you're here. And if you want to be there, I need you to listen to what you created to pull the steps out to get there. And so there's that piece. And then sometimes the journey is joyful. Sometimes the journey is a big, long cycle of grief. I think for 3 years straight, every song I wrote was me crying, but I had like physically run out of tears. So it was my way of crying for all the lives of the people that I love that I had lost. It was 12 people from July 2018 to March 2019. Whether I became desensitized or I was just fed up with all the tears, I just stopped crying. But when I went to my instrument to do something simple like practice for worship, all of these songs would be created on the spot within minutes. So clearly the lament was there, but it just needed to come out a different way. So the journey is always unique for every creation.
Yeah.
But the journey, those deep emotions, it's like you could only speak music. Like English wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And the tears weren't even good enough for that particular chapter.
Yes. I didn't realize this until you asked the question. I do have a particular process. No matter what the song is going to be, I always start on piano. Always. I play guitar and drums and some other stuff, but I always start the song on piano. And so the easiest place for me to do that is at home in a room I created just for that. It's my music stand, my keyboard, some speakers, a few other things. And I have to lock myself in because I have a puppy who thinks when I play piano, it's his solo time. He howls in key.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's impressive, but also this is not your time to shine, sir. So I start there and try to complete the song, meaning I know all the chord changes. I know the structure of the song, or I know all the lyrics. Like the whole song, I try to frame it. Once I frame it, I start to say, okay, do I need drums? Do I need violins? Do I need finger snaps? The song that I was talking about somewhere in my mind, me and Joe Davis did. I was relentless about these snaps in the song. And I said, it has to start with these snaps. If we don't have the snaps, I don't even care. And Joe is a rapper and a poet. And in his mind, he's like, I don't really want to do the snap thing because I'm a poet. I'm like, the snaps are not about that. It's because I don't want to bring in the snares so early on. I want it to build, but we need to keep the time and make it cool. So we're going to snap. So lots of creative differences there, but it worked out. And so there does come a point where I will, in the process, choose the instrument or the sound to highlight and build everything around that sound. Most of the time, it isn't something like a snap. Most of the time, it is a background harmony in the vocals to give it texture. And if I do the harmony the way I hear it in my head and start to build it out, I'll know where the texture will land. Like, will it make them feel angry, sad, happy, whatever the case may be. And I can also tell you like what will happen to the rest of the song if we don't do that, if we don't focus on that piece. But again, it really just depends. The bigger chunk of it, I go to a recording studio and I bring in all the pieces. And sometimes the pieces mean bringing in like musicians to do the part. So I can focus on the development of the production as a whole. I choose not to play and produce, right? So there are many of my records where I have played keys or played an instrument, and I'll keep parts of my keys in there or my instrumentation in there, but I'll bring in another musician to play on top of me to do something different so that I can hear it all the way around. So, long answer to your question, starting at home with the keyboard, it does have to be very quiet. When I go to the studio, I actually have to do something mentally. So I can't listen to music. I actually don't even play the radio at all because hearing people talk, I'm one of those weird people that can hear the melody in people's voices based on the tone of their voice. So it will actually make me forget the piece that I'm going to record. So it does have to be silent. And I've trained myself to tune out things like horns honking if I'm driving or the engine of a car, the AC, everything has a pitch. And if you hear it all at once, you can actually hear if it's clashing or if it's harmonizing. Women's heels in a shopping center, like all those things. So I cannot listen to the music before. But afterwards, I'm going to play all the music so I can get the song I just created out of my head and let it live on its own. So that in 2 weeks, when I come back to it, if I hear it again and I still feel the same way, then we've accomplished the goal. If I hear it and it's like, oh, what did we just make here? We have to go back to the drawing board.
I love it.
Tyra is not the only songwriter we talked to because nurturing a seed of an idea is very much something a composer does.
Yes. I think Kathy Pinot might have one of my most favorite stories about writing the song that so many people know and sing now at gatherings, and how she thought this song was a throwaway.
This was a seed she didn't know was worth investing in, and others came up around it.
Yeah.
The community nurtured it.
The community nurtured something she wasn't thinking
Yeah.
needed or deserved even to be nurtured at that time.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So here's Kathy.
One of the reasons that I really wanted to talk to you today is it feels like just everywhere lately I hear the song that you wrote, The Light of the World. It's at gatherings, it's at camps. The song has just taken on a life of its own. And first, would you tell us a little bit about how the song came into being?
Thank you for asking. It's a funny story to me, and it's amazing that it's so prevalent. When I wrote it, I literally was in the car. If you know the Twin Cities, I was at the 45th University going to Nativity Lutheran Church in St. Anthony, and I did not have a song for the anthem in between the readings. And I was trying to remember someone else's song, and I couldn't come up with it. And their song starts with, "You Are the Light of the World." So I just made it up at the stoplight and wrote it on a little receipt or something. And I had zero of it having a life beyond zero. To be clear. And the line, "Shine where you are," I was like, oh gosh, that's so bad, you know?
And then people love it.
And people love it. And I'm like, it was when I was still in the band, Fat and Happy, with Amy Westlick and Stephanie Rossing. And Amy and I were singing together, and Lowell Mickelson from the band Echelon was there. And I don't know if he was playing, but he came to the worship service. So I said to Amy, quick, here's the song. I'm so sorry.
And then Lowell can play anything. He's percussion.
Well, right. He probably did make him play it if he was there. And so we sang it, and service was over, and came up and said, "That's so good." And I was like, oh, for the listeners, I'm cringing. And he loved it. He asked permission to play it. And I said, fine, but I need to change that "shine where you are" line. That's so weak. And I couldn't think anything else. And they were going to one of the major Lutheran gatherings in a couple months, I think. And so they used it there. That's where it just took off. And so Lowell Mickelson really is the reason that you know it, because that napkin was going in the garbage.
Wow.
I did text him today to ask him what it was he saw in that song and share it with you. He just said it just really seemed singable, and the repeated "you are" was really appealing to him. And it was funny because I asked a young songwriter, Ruth, you might know Claire Neiman.
Oh, sure.
She's a 19-year-old young songwriter and dear friend from birth. And I asked her, she's now in a program like Youth Encounter Team, where she's at a camp for 8 months doing deep Bible study type stuff and then going to youth events to be the musician. And I asked her, what do people like about it? She said almost the exact same thing. It's very singable, and she loves the shine where you are part.
Yeah.
I tell you, I finally did embrace that line.
So there's 4 past guests talking about seeds of ideas, seeds of possibility. I feel like we're making up themes for some sort of biannual gathering of,
Yeah.
of the church or something.
That does sound.
Seeds of possibility. Doesn't it sound like they're gonna
But it's all about beginnings and
beginnings?
and
It
this
felt spring-like.
spring. And so we're starting with these and creative conversations. We'll be talking about that. And all of our guests in April will be talking about beginnings. And so it's a very good place to start.
So remember to join the Patreon this week so that you get the link to our conversation later this week. And if you can't make it, join anyway. We'd love to include you. We're going to add more and more things to our Patreon, and you will get first access. Ooh,
Yes.
first access.
Everybody likes first access. Yeah.
So thank you for joining us for Creative.
We're so glad you could be with us today and share this episode with a friend and go create something.
Go create something.